Oh, that's a pure tune. What is up, everybody? Welcome to Pure Tunes. Sorry I've been away. Long story. Don't want to bore you. But let's kick off with some of the music news that mattered to me this week. Starting off with the UK album charts. Adele's 21 has reached 15 weeks at #1. This week she narrowly managed to pip off Hugh Laurie's Let Them Talk to keep the #1 spot. She also managed to hold off Glee, Sade, Miles Kane and the new Wild Beasts album to keep that top spot. Who would have thought it? Someone talented being successful. Who knew? In news of another band stuck in the 1980s, ACDC have said that they refuse to let their music be available on iTunes or any other digital distribution service. The band have just released their new Live on River Plate DVD and told Sky News that even though the Beatles have changed their mind on the subject, they refuse to let their songs be available in anything else but the album format. I love ACDC, I was brought up listening to them, I still listen to them a lot now, but the guys are stuck in the past, clearly. But it's their music and it's none of my business. Moving on. According to the Daily Star, Richard and Judy believe that Liam Gallagher may have burgled their house in the 1990s. Apparently the BDI frontman broke into the house while the pair were still living in Manchester. Apparently the chat show hosts have confronted Liam about this, but because he was pretty out of it, he just doesn't remember if he did it or not. The jokes kind of write themselves here, so I'm skipping ahead. In other news I couldn't give a rat's ass about, Dannii Minogue has quit her job judging on the X Factor. The singer and sister of the smaller Minogue child has cited that her commitments for Australia's Got Talent, which runs through June and July, are the main reason for her leaving. There's no official word on her replacement, of course, but the Daily Mirror has suggested that she could be replaced by none other than end-up singer Tulisa. Really? That'll be great, won't it? And last but not least, let's talk about Eurovision. Azerbaijan, whose entrant this year was the duo El Nicky, have come away with the top prize. Their song Running Scared beat out 25 other entries this year, and that win means that Azerbaijan will be hosting the competition next year in Baku. Fortunately enough, the band managed to beat Blue and Jedward in the runnings, so we can look forward to the world not ending for at least another couple months. Now, on a slightly more serious note, let's talk about LimeWire and the RIAA. LimeWire, of course, settled their court case with the RIAA, settling to pay $105 million as opposed to the possible $1 billion that it could have reached had the trial gone on. However, there's still no word as to whether or not the RIAA or the 13 major record labels involved will give any of that money to the artists they say they represent. Now let's take my 2 cents on the subject. I'm all for musicians and bands getting their fair share of their money. Obviously I'm a musician myself. If my stuff gets sold or whatnot, I want to get paid for it too. This is no longer a case of getting money for content creators. It's about getting money for content aggregators like the labels. Understandably, LimeWire had to come down eventually. It's an illegal service. It was going to be a target from day one. I was a supporter of the Pirate Bay back in the day. Technically they weren't doing anything illegal, but you know, let's face it, they're a target. But what this case does is nothing but retain a precedent where the big companies and the big litigators can keep all the dough. And the artists like me and mine? Not so much. But hey, ours is not the reason why. Am I correct? Now it's time for our feature band, and this week it's a local. My good friends Where We Lay Our Heads have released a lovely little 6-track EP on their Bandcamp page. You can name your price and get 6 acoustic demos, some of which will appear on the band's forthcoming album in a full band arrangement. I think Where We Lay Our Heads is going to be one of the hottest bands this year, even though we're quite late into it. Already been receiving a lot of radio airplay, getting a lot of nice words said about them. And I'm a fan, so, you know, obviously that goes well for them. Remember, if you want us to feature your band on the show, or you've got any news you want us to talk about, send us an email at puretunesmusic@googlemail.com. And if you want to chime in on any of the stories we talked about today, leave your responses, or video responses, in the comments below, and we'll get back to you. Apologies again for the big gap in videos. It's been a very busy time for me. But we're back to our release schedule for every Monday, and we're in the middle of planning our next Pure Tunes live event. So keep an eye out for that. Anyway, that's all we got this week. Until next time, I've been Jimmy Richards, and this has been Pure Tunes. Take it easy, planet Earth.
Were they grace, the sheep eat the grass.